7 months into the lockdown and counting, people have been cycling through literally to get by due to few transport options. Two-wheelers have helped power the economy in more ways than one. Will this bring about policy supporting workers and businesses tapping pedal power? Let's now have an exchange with Cabinet Secretary Karlo Nograles. Secretary, thank you so much for joining us on the exchange. Can these two-wheelers take us on a ride to recovery?
Well, that's the idea. Right now, with certain restrictions on mobility in public transportation, a lot of people now have turned to bicycles to bring them from point A to point B. Actually, there was really, even before COVID happened, there were a lot of advocates for bicycling and cycling that have really been pushing us to transform our urban centers into bike-friendly cities. And I guess with COVID-19, it has now become an imperative. And therefore, the government, the national government, together with our local government units, are really pushing for ways and means to enable people to be able to use the road, share the road with other motorists, so to speak, so that we can get people to go to work and hopefully even post-COVID-19, these bicycle lanes
But Secretary, this has been the plan of past administrations to ramp up the bike infrastructure system. Is the political will there to push through with it?
Well, right now you will see, and you can see the political will. I guess because of the necessity right now, but I think it has forced everyone to take a closer look into supporting this. Sabi ko nga, Rico, actually matagal nang maraming gigil dito. Gigil na gigil. Kaya nga, when COVID happened and the opportunity came, naturally, because people had to use bikes when the GCQ happened, the ECQs and NECQs were imposed, everybody were kind of forced to ride bikes. So it forced a lot of policymakers to take a closer look at this. And like I said, we're having now pop-up bicycle lanes. We're having bicycle lanes being supported now by MMDA, the Department of Transportation, and other local government units. And hopefully, this will become a permanent policy in the national sphere and even in the local government units.
As you say, gigil na gigil to have the bike infrastructure system ramped up. But Secretary Nograles, as more people use bikes as an alternative mode of transport, motorists are also complaining that bikers have become unruly on the road. Let's listen to May and Robert.
Lagi sila nag-overtake, tsaka yung opposite direction. Katulad nitong bike na to, yung dumaan na bike na yan, nasa kabilang direction siya. Dapat nasa kabila siya, di ba? So napaka-delikado niyan. So yung mga sasakyan minsan hindi na sila napapansin.
Yung 4K bisikleta sila, pasok sila ng pasok doon kung saan kasi pag one way, madalas yung driver sa isang side lang yan nakapokus. Kaya nagkukos din ng aksidente. Kailangan maging safety din sila at saka gilid sila palagi.
Secretary Nograles, according to 2019 data, fatal and minor injuries of two-wheeler bikers made up for more than 15% of total accidents, and in Metro Manila alone, there were close to 1,800 bike-related road crashes. You heard May and Richard. Do you think cyclists have to be taught road safety and biker motorist etiquette?
Absolutely, not only cyclists, but everybody else will have to be informed, aware, and educated on the do's and don'ts. And in terms of this sharing of the road between motorists, motor vehicles, and cyclists and bicyclists, I think there really has to be a campaign among cyclists and among motorists as well, and pedestrians. No? So that's really the Share the Road campaign, that everybody has to learn how to share the road. Everybody has to learn the protocols, procedures that has to go with sharing the road.
Right.
And we'll have to live together and ride together and bike together and use the road together.
You said that Secretary Share the Road campaign, no? So motorists and motorcyclists have licenses, no? Should the government also require e-scooters and owners of bicycles to have licenses?
I think that's the direction that we're headed towards. There have been guidelines already issued, joint guidelines between the Department of Transportation and MMDA and DILG with regard to the use of bicycles. And more and more, I think it is important for the government to already lay down the guidelines and the rules, as well as when it entails getting licenses to bike. Perhaps it might be a good idea to already move towards that direction, and for e-scooters as well and the like. I think we now have to look at alternative modes of transportation, a transportation that was not necessarily popular or known pre-COVID times, but because of this pandemic, people have shifted to different alternative modes of transportation, and I think policy and the guidelines have to shift also towards that direction.
So, Secretary,
and regulation of these types of modes of transportation have to come in also.
And briefly, we have about 30 seconds left before the end of this interview. Will the two-wheelers, you think, Secretary, have any benefits in improving traffic in Metro Manila and reducing vehicle emissions?
Oh, absolutely. Advocates in the House and the Senate, and even among us in the executive branch, have always pushed for this type of transportation because of it leaves less carbon footprint. It's more environmentally friendly. It's healthier, and it will really force people to get healthy by biking, and it's fun. And it's safe. It should be safe. If you're riding a bike, then all the more you should be safe from COVID-19. But then again, here's where regulation and sharing the road, information, education campaign and awareness has to come in, because ang delikado na lang dito yung aksidente.
Thank you so much for that insightful exchange, Cabinet Secretary Karlo Nograles.